Hello leaders, my name is Maddie Manak and I would like to welcome you to our session video overviews on the Families for Change website. Access to these videos can be found under each individual session tab on the website. Our hope is that these videos would serve as a memory refresher and a point of reference in guiding your family group as you prepare for each session. In each video, we will discuss important points for each session, give an overview of the session activities, and offer assistance on how to manage each group situation. Our hope is that also you and the family would have sessions with the maximum impact so you can reach the goals of FSP.
Before we continue onto the Session 1 overview, there are a few important tips that you need to consider. The first one is room structure. Room structure is very important when considering group participation and engagement to foster group cohesion. By placing seats in a circle, families and facilitators are able to see and interact with each other more closely. Doing this also allows for a more comfortable atmosphere. The families are more comfortable when the FSP group leaders join the family at the same eye level and sit amongst them. It is also helpful to reserve a seat for yourself before the families arrive if you prefer to sit near someone or a family to influence their behavior appropriately.
Session preparation is a key aspect to remember. Make sure that you arrive at least 15 minutes early prior to the session and write the schedule for the night in a place that is visible to the entire room. The use of an easel with poster paper or a whiteboard is helpful when writing out the schedule. You want the group to know that each session has a beginning and the end. Allowing the members of the group to know this will hopefully increase productivity.
We will now be moving on to an overview of Session 1. The goal of this session is to develop group trust and cohesion amongst the participants. This is the first time the youth and their families will get a chance to meet and truly engage with each other. In order to promote sincere, honest discussion, it is important that they establish a sense of trust with you, the leader, so they can be open to learn from you and each other. Meaningful discussion can only be facilitated when everyone feels safe and comfortable. Having easy access to a whiteboard or a poster paper and easel can also promote fluidity for larger group activities.
The first thing on the schedule is paperwork. Have families fill out the risk assessment form as they arrive for the session. It is best to get all the paperwork out of the way first, so when finished, everyone can focus on the session activities. This will also help in completing all of the things in the session on time. Next on the schedule is leader introductions. Have each leader introduce themselves and help families get to their seats as they arrive.
Next, you will want to discuss the history and goals of the Family Solutions program. Demonstrate to the families that they will be participating in a best practice program. It is important to discuss this in an engaging way. This is the time when you get to establish the credibility of the Family Solutions program with the participants. For more information on the history of FSP, refer to the History of FSP section on the Intro tab of your Leader Handbook.
It's important to emphasize the rules of the group in the first session so you as the leader and the families can all be on the same page. You will need to discuss all the rules, including rules on punctuality and the absence policy in the first session. A more complete list of the rules can be found on your weekly email. When presenting the rules, you can compare it to the elements of a family and how important it is that all of the family members participate and know their own value in order to have group success. This will also help level the playing field and help the families see you as the leaders as normal people.
The first activity for the night is role play. During the role play, the leaders will act out what they think each person in the room may be thinking or feeling. For example, the youth role play could say something like, "This is a waste of time." Or the parent role play could say something like, "Why do I have to be here? I didn't do anything wrong." The leaders can even role play themselves and say, "I've had a long day, and I don't think I'll be able to hold out enough energy for another 2 hours." Doing this will show everyone that we all have thoughts and feelings and may be a little nervous about participating in the Family Solutions program. This also shows the participants that the leaders are human too and that they can begin to trust and relate to their leaders.
Activity 2 is the name game. This is a fun game that allows for the group members to get to know the names of each member and get to know each individual a little better. Start off by picking a general category such as an adjective to describe yourself or a destination such as a picnic. Based off that category, tell the families to pick a word from that category that starts with the same letter as their first name. Once everyone has a word, everyone can go around and introduce themselves using that category word. For example, my name is Maddie and I'm going on a picnic and I'm bringing marshmallows. The catch of this game is that for every person that goes around, they must remember and say aloud all the people that went before them. So, for example, my name is Maddie and I'm going on a picnic and I'm bringing marshmallows. Margaret's bringing mangoes and Danika's bringing donuts.
The next activity for the night is the toilet paper game. Encourage the participants to take as many pieces of toilet paper as they want. However, do not divulge the reason for the toilet paper until everyone has received their pieces. Once everyone has received their toilet paper, explain to the participants that they must share an interesting fact about themselves for each piece of toilet paper that they have. If there is time at the end, encourage a volunteer to see if they can remember at least one fact for every person.
Wrapping up this session, it's important to talk with the families about what they thought was most important. Have the families use the takeaway sheets to write down their final thoughts about the session and what they thought was most important. When the 10-week program comes to an end, these takeaway sheets will be useful in looking back on for the families to see what all they have accomplished. Hold a discussion about what the families wrote down on their takeaway sheets. Then, take some time to discuss the goals of group form and the homework for next week. The homework includes the families having more meals together. If there is time at the end for the group to discuss the goals of group form together, do that. If there's no time, have the families take the form home with them to complete.
If you seem to be getting through the session quickly, here are a few things you can do. 1. You can encourage a volunteer to see if they can remember everyone's picnic name from the name game that you completed earlier in the session. You can also encourage another volunteer to see if they can remember at least one fact about every person from the toilet paper game. The people that can do this can get a prize.